Before we begin the meeting, I just need to check that councillors appearing online can hear and see us. Councillor Stevens, can you see and hear us?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I can see you and hear you.
Terrific, thank you. Thanks, Councillor Stevens. Members of the public gallery should note that the council records and publishes council meetings via YouTube to enhance the accessibility of council meetings to the broader Wellington community. These recordings are also published and archived on council's website for viewing by the public. Recordings may also be used for publicity or information purposes. Members of the public in attendance at the council meeting who wish to communicate with the council regarding an agenda item or any other matter should I advise the Mayor, ideally prior to the meeting starting, to ensure that their submission is called at the appropriate time during the meeting. Would gallery visitors, councillors and invited online attendees please ensure that mobile phones and other electronic devices are turned off or in silent mode for the duration of the meeting. And we acknowledge our officers are located on the traditional lands of the Gunai-Kurnai Nation and pay our deep respects to their elders, past and present. We move through the agenda. We have a full house, no apologies. Councillors, do we have any conflicts of interests? We move then on to 3.1, the adoption of the previous council meeting minutes. Thank you, Councillor Ripper.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move that Council adopt the minutes and resolutions of the council meeting of 21st of October 2025.
Seconded, Councillor Wells. Is that motion opposed? The motion not being opposed, it's carried. Did you wish to speak to those, Councillor Ripper? There's no business arising from the previous meetings. We don't have any late or urgent items, nor do we have any notices of motion. Going to item 7, receiving of petitions or joint letters, we have none. So we move then on to item 8, invited addresses, presentations or acknowledgements. Thank you, Councillor Fote.
On Saturday, I had the pleasure of attending the Sale and District Agricultural Show Committee afternoon tea. Now, it was a wonderful celebration of community spirit and long-standing dedication. Richard Crook, the President, spoke proudly about the sale show celebrating 160 years, reflecting on its history and continued importance to our district. He also noted that the carrot cake competition is a popular and thriving event at the show. Now, Richard also expressed thanks to the John Leslie Foundation, whose funding has made possible for the Sale and District Agricultural Show to reclad the main building, and with the addition of a veranda and more recently installation of floodlights. The next project, he said, which they're hoping to secure a grant, is to install new showcase windows in the pavilion, which will help to further enhance the facilities and just overall ease of use for a lot of the stewards in presenting the amazing cookery and other showcase items. Now, a highlight of the afternoon was a presentation of the John French Award, which honours individuals who contribute to the smooth running and success of the sale show and its grounds. The award is named in memory of John French, a dedicated past committee member, and it recognises outstanding service, whether or not the recipients are part of the committee. Now, normally the award is only given to one person, but this year 2 deserving recipients were recognised. Chris Heeb, known for his technical expertise around the showgrounds, provided reliable Wi-Fi coverage to parts of the showgrounds, solving many connectivity issues and improving the efficiency of the operations throughout the entire weekend. Theo Smolinars, although he's not a committee member, has given generously of his time and skills, donating metal and labour for various projects around the grounds. Now, his recent work included improvements at the front gate and on the weekend solving issues with the display cabinets for the carrot cake competition, which was very lucky. 2 gold life memberships were also awarded. One was to Michael Kelly, who's a lifelong participant in equestrian events. Michael has been competing at the sale show since the age of 7. And he particularly excels in show jumping and barrel racing. Richard fondly mentioned that Michael was known for making a rather unique entrance to the competing ring. Instead of using the gate, he would jump the fence and head on to his particular area of competition. The other Gold Life membership was awarded to Wally Ingram, which is another long-term equestrian competitor. Wally has taken part in nearly every discipline in the equestrian field over the years, with the exception being dressage, which he was very inclined to say he was not going to start. His ongoing enthusiasm and commitment have been a great asset to the show community. The day finished up with Abby Walsh speaking. She was announced as the 2025 Rural Ambassador. Now, Abby spoke really confidently about the value of volunteering, highlighting how giving time to the community benefits both the volunteers themselves, but the broader region and community that actually gain from the people volunteering, as we have all found out throughout the year. Now, Abby will go on to represent the sales show and refine her skills through upcoming ambassador activities. So for me, I found that it was a really lovely afternoon celebrating dedication, community involvement, and the proud 160-year history of the Sale and District Agricultural Show.
And probably quite handy to be able to go and pick up all of those first and second prizes you got in the baking competitions there too, Councillor Folk. Congratulations and well done. And thank you for sharing some of those treats with us today. Councillors, are there any other presentations there? So we move then on to item 9, questions on notice of which there are nil. We move on to item 10, delegates' reports. Councillor Bannerman.
Thank you, Mayor. So I would like to present to Council a report from the Timber Towns Victoria Forum and Annual General Meeting last week, which was hosted in Sale, with much gratitude and respect to our Economic Development Officer, Mark Coleman, who organised the event with the able assistance of the Timber Towns Victoria Secretary, Rachel Healy. So thank you to both of them, because it was absolutely fabulous event. Everyone had a fantastic time and got to learn a lot, which is kind of, you know, the main point of these events. So during the, sorry, I'll just give a brief bit of background. So Timber Towns Victoria is a local government association that's been running for about 40 years now. And basically they're an advocacy group formed by relevant council members and council staff from around towns in Victoria that have a vested interest in the timber industry, to be an advocacy group at both state and federal government levels. So this year's forum, we're focusing on what the Wellington Shire has in the way of timber-related industries, and so we got to have a look out at Ash Mills in Hayfield. Always a fabulous visit, the innovation going on out there and just the way that they're going from strength to strength in terms of growing their employment base. So they're employing a lot of locals out there, and just with every setback and difficulty that's been put in front of them over the past many years with the shutdown of the particularly hardwood timber industry, they just pivot from strength to strength. And some of the things that they are creating and doing out there with their manufactured timber from hardwood is just amazing, really, really beautiful. So I'd also like to mention that we went to the HVP, make sure I've got that acronym around the right way, HVP plantation just outside between Rosedale and Longford, and we're shown around the coop there and got to learn about how the process of harvesting the wood at the source happens. And then we made our way to Yarram, and thanks to the Yarram Country Club for hosting us for lunch. Beautiful meal there. Followed by visiting Radial Timber, Alberton Timber and the AKD Sawmill. So I got to see them do a lot of interesting things in those three places, all based around obviously similar concepts and parts of wood production for our use, but all with their own little niche and spin on the market. One of the very cool things we got to see was watching an entire log, sort of 30 centimetres diameter, get stripped lengthwise into a sheet of super thin wood for pressing into manufactured wood. It was like watching a pencil in an electric pencil sharpener. It was that quick, going from this whole log to just this flat sheet of paper-thin wood. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, those sort of innovations are really interesting to see, and it's great to see that we've got such enthusiastic and passionate people in our shire who are looking for new technologies and new opportunities to innovate with.
And enthusiastic and passionate councillors who are on our Timber Towns board as our delegates. Thank you, Councillor Bannerman. Anyone else with delegates' reports? No, thank you. We move then on to 11.1, the Assembly of Councillors report.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Ripper.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move that Council note and receive the attached Assembly of Councillor records for the period 13th of October to the 26th of October.
Seconded, Councillor Taddison. Is that motion opposed? The motion not being opposed, it's carried. Thanks, Councillor Ripper.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We move then on to 12.1, Amendment C123, Wellington Growth Management Strategy Implementation. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Councillor Fote.
I move that Council request the Minister for Planning to authorise Council as the planning authority to prepare Amendment C123 Wellington Growth Management Strategy Implementation as per Attachment 12.1.1 pursuant to Section 8A of the Planning and Environment Act 1987 and proceed to a period of formal public exhibition.
Seconded, Councillor Bannerman. Yep. Is that motion opposed? Motion not being opposed, it's carried. I'll just ask Councillor Fote to say a few words, then I'll open it up to other councillors who may wish to make comment, given we're putting this out to public consultation, and you may have some different. I know there's been a lot of conversations around the table regarding this, and it certainly is an opportunity for the community to have their input into many of these areas. But thank you, Councillor Fote.
Just on the 6th of August, Council officially adopted the Wellington Growth Management Strategy. Now, the strategy provides a shire-wide plan for how land will be used and how future urban growth will be managed. It focuses on the growth potential of the 6 main urban centres, that being Sale, Warwick, Longford, Maffra, Stratford, Hayfield, Rosedale and Yarram. Now, besides guiding where and how growth should happen, the strategy also highlights key opportunities to boost local jobs and attract investment across the municipality. To put this plan into action, Planning Scheme Amendment C123 proposes to include the main policy directions from the strategy into the Wellington Planning Scheme. Now, this will help support future urban development and economic priorities. The amendment also includes some minor updates, such as revised population forecasts. Now, the amendment will soon be open for community consultation, giving residents, businesses and stakeholders the chance to have their say on how the strategy is implemented. I, along with the fellow councillors, encourage everyone to get involved and share your feedback to help shape the future growth of Wellington Shire. Thanks, Mayor.
Councillor Bannerman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just supporting what Councillor Fote said about encouraging people to please put your feedback in around this planning scheme amendment. So today, I have supported today's motion as it stands because it is allowing that process for public consultation. I do have personally some hesitations, reservations about some items within the planning scheme, and so would really like to hear from the local residents as to what your thoughts on it are and see what sort of amendments or additions you might like to see put in there. I would particularly like to bring people's attention to the addition of broiler farms being included as a preferred activity in the Shire, and also any comments people might have around the renewable energy infrastructure. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Bannerman. Anyone else like to speak? No, thank you. Certainly, they'll go out to public comment. Normally we have those out for 4 weeks. We might extend it a little bit with Christmas, but certainly encourage people to access that when it becomes available on our website and service centres and the like, and let us know what you think. We do take public consultation very seriously. We value it because it's not always about, well, it's not really about what our opinions are. It's actually us understanding what the community is looking for as well. We move then on to item 13.1, the Emergency Management Landslide Repairs Southern Area Package 1. Thank you, Councillor Tatterson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move that Council adopt the recommendations contained in the confidential attachment 13.1.2 2025-207 Landslide Rectification Various Locations Package 1 and note that the information contained in the confidential attachment 13.1.2 2025-2007 Landslide Rectification Various Locations Package 1 was designated confidential by the General Manager Built and Natural Environment on the 24th of October 2025 because it contains confidential information defined in Section 3.1 of the Local Government Act 2020 G2, private commercial information being information provided by a business, commercial or financial undertaking that, if released, would unreasonably expose the business, commercial or financial undertaking to disadvantage, except once that this recommendation has been adopted, the name of the successful tenderer shall be made public.
Second to Councillor Lowe. Is that motion opposed? The motion not being opposed, it's carried. So I can announce that the successful tenderer was McGuinness Earthmoving Proprietary Limited. Did you wish to speak to that, Councillor Tatterson?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Multiple storms have affected the Yarraman district in December 23 and January 24. Initial repairs were completed to stabilise the affected roadways in the Streslecky Ranges between Welshpool and Gormandale. So, following additional engineering advice, these works have been recommended and they will be supported in part by council funding and through emergency NDFA funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tatterson. We move on to item 13.2, Management Landslide Repairs Southern Area Package 2. Thank you, Councillor Maiden.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council 1 adopt the recommendations contained in the confidential attachment 13.2.2 2025-208 Landslide Rectification Various Locations Package 2, and I'll take item 2 as read.
Second to Councillor Bannerman. Is that motion opposed? Motion not being opposed, it's carried. So I can announce the successful tenderer as Whelan's Group Investments Proprietary Limited.
Just to say that this is the second part of the landslide rectification. This is package 2, so I believe Councillor Tatterson has already mentioned what's going on here, and this is just the second part of those works. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any gallery or online comments?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. I'd just like to say a couple of words. This is my last meeting I'm chairing as Mayor, and it's been a great year. Been lots of really interesting things. If you read the annual report, it does document everything that's gone on. But I must say, we've gone from things like driving with Harry Bates in his rally car in trees around the back Stockdale, 180 kilometres an hour. We've had exploding web stream equipment in the room, which closed down a meeting. I gathered a son-in-law and became a grandparent this year. We had the Freedom of the City March, which was extraordinary. And the largest project we've ever undertaken being Aqua Energy over 3 council terms. It's amazing to see that up and running now, and we should all be very proud of that. Following my, perhaps, I'm not quite sure if they're wisely or unwisely chosen words about woke inner city councils when interviewed with the Herald Sun reporter, ended up on Australia Day with Peter, talking about Australia Day with Peter Credlin on Sky News. So thrilled that we had our Deputy Mayor Cindy talking on Q&A, asking questions of the Prime Minister, and then missing his follow-up call when he decided to call her back the next day. He didn't even pick up the phone. You know, that's quite extraordinary. I don't think many people do that. The exhibitions we've seen, Turner in Australia, where we had 11 of the 14 known Turners, along with so many significant works from Fred McCoven, Tom Roberts, Arthur Streeton. What I really loved, though, through the course of the year, is there were times over the last few decades where our neighbours have been seen to be the places to be. And now I'm getting a newspaper proprietor from the east of Gippsland, who will remain nameless, calling me up and saying, how did we do the Middle of Everywhere campaign? It's so amazing. We should be doing that down here. Oh, and why is it every time I drive through Wellington Shire, there's always something improving? He said, all around East Gippsland it's always the same. So that makes me incredibly proud, but it just shows that devotion that the councillors and all the council workers have to improving things in our community, because that sort of feedback to me is so important, that we can also in our planners become facilitators rather than gatekeepers. All these things make a real difference. I was really pleased to put my hand up for this first term of this new council. We know that we had 5 new councillors joining with 4 returning. But I do believe the strength of council is increased by sharing of the leadership roles and delegations. And I know that the leadership roles experience changed a lot in that changeover. We went from 4 councillors who'd been mayor to 2, which is the lowest since 2000. Went from 75 cumulative years on council to 36. So this is a little bit of a rebuild. I won't be standing for mayor because I do believe that sharing the leadership roles and giving people the experience through delegating is super important, because the more people you've got around the table who've been in those leadership roles, the stronger our council is. I'll be certainly wishing whoever is successful at the election in 2 weeks' time. I'm still mayor for 2 weeks, so, you know, better stay in line. But a thank you to all of you and to my fellow councillors, and of course special note to Deputy Mayor, but you've all delegated for different things at different times, and that's really important. Whoever's in this role, I think, should delegate and strengthen the council by giving people those opportunities. The CEO, the CMT, the comms team in particular, although they seem to be drinking some sort of strange water, they all seem to be going off pregnant and on maternity leave, but they're a great team. The several hundred employees of the Shire who are all out there as our ambassadors, our community who engage with us regularly, and sometimes indirectly through social media with some very interesting observations. But either way, it is really lovely having that feedback from the community. But the proudest moment for me is the state of the relationships around this council table. You don't see this in other councils. You don't see people who've got diverse views being able to actually have a difference of opinion in the chamber and continue the relationships, because the fact is we all represent so many different people in our community. We represent so many different views. It's appropriate we have a wide range of views. But for us to have those relationships, I think is a real credit to all of you. And if I've had a part in helping that, I'm really thrilled to have done that. I look forward to being a feather duster on the side, contributing as a councillor and not mayor after a couple of weeks. And thank you for this incredible privilege and honour to serve the community again in this role. Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, can I just make an observation, please?
Yes, certainly. Anyone who wishes to speak is welcome.
Mayor, I'd just like to thank you for your leadership. I mean, it's you have managed to bring together all the new councillors and our existing council, and I think we've worked well as a team, and that's all due to your fine leadership. So thank you very much for your contribution to the council.
Thanks, Gary. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, well, we'll now close the meeting and say thanks for coming. Thank you.